I didn't hear you click, so...
Oh, okay. I thought you were waiting for me to start it off like, Maid Cafe!
No, I literally didn't hear you click, and I can't see the screen, so...
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, as you've seen, we watched Akiba Maid War, and, it's... Holy shit,
Things got violent very quickly.
It's got one of the worst opening songs I've ever had to deal with, and
Still somehow better than X-Arm.
at least I can laugh at X-Arm.
I don't know. I think this opening is catchier.
I don't know. I think it's I think the beginning part's bad, but whatever. Yeah, so basically, Akiba Maid War is what happens when you watch the Yakuza series and go, we can put cute girls in that.
Yeah, what if we replace every instance of Yakuza in the plot with the word maid, and we just work around that?
Yeah, no, and you watch as it falls into all the same fucking tropes, where they lop your pigtails off, they have blood sisters, where they exchange name tags. I don't remember what they do in the actual Yakuza.
What do they? I don't even know if they do anything. Maybe they exchange pins, but like
that seems silly. Plus, Kiryu and what's his face, Fish Boy, they were in the same fucking family, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird.
But you can have a brother outside of the family.
Yeah, but I guess it just... Whatever. Anyway, so... Yeah, basically it opens... I know it opens up on a hit.
Yeah, it's like 1970 or so, and a bunch of maids get out of a car, and then, like, the head maid gets shot.
Yeah, the girl comes up, screams, empties the gun into her, and then runs away. And,
15 years later...
Yeah, I guess Ranko, who's one of the major characters, she gets out of prison, not unlike a certain Dragon of Dojima that we know, and, ends up joining a really shitty cafe alongside some girl who's like, I always wanted to be a maid.
I don't know about the blood sport yet.
No, just the cutesy shit. But as it turns out, the internal politics are typically solved via gunfight.
It's wild.
Stabbing and explosions.
Anyway, for some reason, the two new maids are sent to another cafe to make amends for something or other. Look, I'm gonna be honest. It's been 2 months since we started this,
dude. I don't. Anyway,
and there's been.
All I know is that at some point it gets really shitty, and then Ranko pulls a gun, and somebody gets shot, and I don't remember the context.
I think it was the rabbit maid group.
Man, I don't fucking know.
Okay, so there's two major maid groups at the beginning. There's the aliens and the creatures.
Yes.
And I think they go to the alien rabbit place, and they just lay it to waste.
Yeah,
They were sent as sacrifices, but Ranko's too good for that, and she just murders everybody.
Well, because they treat the one girl horribly, and Ranko basically takes offense to that, and then they just gun down everybody. Almost everybody. And, yeah, so that's the opening, and What's-Her-Face wants to run away because murder is not what she signed up for. And, yeah, then they get involved in... You find out that this cafe doesn't meet their quota.
Yeah, they're really bad at it.
And the manager's a loser, piece of shit. Love her to death. She's great.
She would abandon them all in a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat. But under certain circumstances, she does act like a manager.
Yeah, by like disappearing and, not being around when you need them. Like most managers.
And talking to a fish. But, Yeah, so I know they go to a casino and they end up winning too much.
Yeah, because I think the casino owner invited them, and it was all like a setup so they would lose more money, and then they could be offed, and they'd be like, well, they were just not good at their jobs.
Yeah, but they end up winning somewhat, but I think they finally do lose. And then some shenanigans happen, and
I think the casino blows up.
yeah, thanks to a panda. There's a person in a panda suit throughout this entire thing.
And they're great.
Yeah.
They're the best.
Absolutely wonderful. So,
Ranko shares a birthday with some other cafe girl.
yeah. Because the younger one's handing out invitations to
a birthday party, essentially.
Yeah, and the one maid gets insulted, and
so they get thrown into this big old like bucket thing, and they start filling it with goat blood. I don't know if it was.
It's not goat blood. It turns out to be tomato juice.
But they throw a goat in there as well, and it just kind of swims around.
Love that goat. It's great.
And they get out of it because the other maids come to rescue them, and I feel like this place also blows up.
Yeah, no, everyone gets murdered, I'm fairly certain. And at that point, things get kind of fuzzy. I actually have a hard time even remembering the stuff we just watched.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. What happens in those other 3 episodes? But
the big bad violent maid from around Ranko's time shows back up. She gets out of jail and she wields a baseball bat. She's basically Majima, but like way more murder happy. Like Majima is crazy, but he's not
driven by bloodlust.
No, this one definitely is, and ends up killing younger maid's sworn sister or whatever,
Yeah, from the Omi Alliance.
Yeah.
And this starts a maid war in Akiba.
Crazy.
Drop that title.
Damn. And yeah, so younger maid basically disappears and becomes a ninja.
Yeah, she hides and joins a ninja cafe, which is different than a maid cafe.
Yeah.
Ninjas are less respectable than maids in this universe. Don't question it. Don't worry about it.
It's so fucking weird. And apparently the ninjas don't murder each other, I guess, so... No.
Ninjas are peaceful. Historically, ninjas have never murdered.
Clearly not. But, yeah, so... They get her back, because they basically get her fans to guilt her with a picture of her sworn blood sister, whatever, and so she comes back and defends them from the blood-crazed older maid, and that maid, and she also keeps Ranko from killing her, and that maid hobbles back to her old cafe and gets absolutely murdered by her matriarch. It's the best I can come up with.
Yeah.
And
then the maid wars are over, and
because they lost most of their muscle, they basically get aggressively taken over.
Yeah, the Omi Alliance is absorbed into the Tojos. And they're not really happy about that because they have to be creatures now and not aliens.
Yeah, they become axolotls.
So they have the most friendliest game of baseball where nobody dies.
Nobody dies. Totally not the manager who tries swinging a bat at the pitcher, getting stabbed by the mascot. Nobody died.
Yeah, it was incredibly peaceful, and
the pigs win. And,
yeah.
And then we get a history lesson about like the 1850s and how the Yakuza made group started, and now they climb a giant Maid.
Yeah, and the winner gets to be the cool guys on campus for the year and whatnot.
And
it's completely rigged. It's based off of, so your entry number is based off your sales of your little kiosk and whatnot, and our cafe gets to sell pig sweet, so you know they're last.
Yeah.
And the Lyon cafe is the ones who were supposed to win, but our maids didn't read the handbook to know that they were supposed to lose.
Yeah, and so they win, and it's bad.
And everybody's just like, "Oh, you're all dead now."
And yeah, and that's when our good friend fuck, don't our good second, like, not really second in command, but basically headmistress's like messenger, he gets killed.
Yeah, young Domon Kashu.
Yep. And so
we didn't even talk about him. He just comes around to collect the money and be intimidating.
Yeah, he looks like a normal Akiba tourist.
Yeah, he's got the headband and the two,
like the posters coming out of the backpack.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gets killed, and what's her face is all pissy, and so Ranko meets a guy who turns out to be an assassin, and finally gets the job to take Ranko out. And the panda finally starts talking. And as it turns out, the panda was the one who killed Ranko's old matriarch, and then was going to be offed by the assassin. And so, because the cops were nearby, she managed to get away.
And then she got hit by a car.
Yeah, so everyone thought she was dead.
15 years of panda.
Yeah, and like fucking like sees pandas somewhere, is like, I wish I could be a panda, and then dons a panda suit, and
it just lives like that for 15 years. It's wild.
Yeah.
Anyway, she warns Ranko of the assassin, and then she offs the assassin.
Yes. And apparently the assassin spills the beans about who ordered the hit. It turns out it was the current head ordered the hit on what was essentially her adoptive mom. It's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, Ranko's blood sister was the bad guy the whole time. Wow, who could have known?
Oh man, it's crazy. So,
they get disowned.
Yeah.
They string the panda suit up on like a sign, and the crows start eating it because
Yeah, I don't fucking know. And
the panda head falls off, and the girl who's in the panda just shows up with like a smaller panda suit, puts the head on, is like, I'm alive.
I'm the one in the panda suit. And yeah, it says they're being disowned, and so Ranko decides that she's going to take responsibility for it, but then the entire pigsty decides they're going to get involved, and they kidnap the head of the lions and end up in a massive gunfight while Ranko and
Nagomi?
Sure.
I think that
could have left it up so we could reference it.
I could have, but I don't make smart decisions.
Clearly.
I'm pretty sure it was Nagomi.
Okay, well, Nagomi and Ranko go to the head office, and they get basically disarmed and dragged up there. And some things happen, and Ranko makes...
some Yakuza-like things.
Yeah, Nagomi loses a pigtail, and...
Oh, it's gonna start playing, isn't it? I don't want it to start playing. Oh, thank God.
Yep.
Yeah, Nagomi.
Okay. And they both try arguing for, like, kill me and save the cafe, and she's finally moved by Ranko actually crying about it and decides to let them go for making 10 times as much as they're supposed to.
And they don't even pay that.
And that doesn't last for shit because some dumbass decides to kill Ranko. And this causes Nagomi to go, like... black pork, I believe, was the term that was used. She literally dons a completely black Maid outfit and aviators and starts fucking up maids to get info.
Specifically one.
Yeah, like a cow one. And she's... And Nagomi's fucking lost it. And she gets cornered by a group of them and gets the shit beaten out of her. And they almost kill her, but there's too many people around. And then she looks through Ranko's, like, Nagomi comes back, looks through Ranko's things, and, like, breaks down crying. And
yeah, because she kept the baseball sand.
That was weird.
She kept trinkets of all the adventures.
Yeah, and so she finally comes back to her senses. Like, there's one thing we can do, and so head matriarch has decided they're gonna personally take out Oinky Doink, and a whole ton of them come in, and they
get treated to a show.
Yeah,
for free.
All maids with guns get a free show, and so they hand out drinks and stuff, and
they make them do the normal things you would do at a maid cafe.
And then there's a big performance by Nagomi, and the head actually shoots her basically through the kidney. And she continues her performance, and then the head of the lions actually starts applauding.
Was it the lions? I thought it was bears.
I was pretty sure.
No, the bear was dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably lion then.
And then head matriarch shoots her for applauding.
Well, look, the head matriarch just shoots everybody. That's kind of her character.
It really is. But then when, like, Nagomi just tries to appeal to...
she's like, did you have a good time? And she just gets unloaded on.
Fucking loses it, starts unloading her gun, and then the one who stabbed Ranko actually is the one who kills the matriarch. Shoots her through the head. Fucking sick. And, yeah.
And then the year is 2018.
Yeah, it cuts forward to, too close to reality for me to deal with. Because I can't deal with the idea that maid cafes are run like fucking Yakuza families. But anyway, some of the guys who grew up being big fans of Oinky Doink, they bring a new guy, and they're like, we gotta meet our favorite maid. She's 36 years old. And a girl in a wheelchair comes out, does like a fucking donut, and... it's Nagomi, and I guess Akiba kind of cleaned its shit up after the fucking crazy-ass matriarch got shot in the head.
Yeah, they enacted some anti-maid cafe laws, and they forced all the maid cafes to break up or something. I don't remember the plot of Like a Dragon.
Dude,
but...
I don't... It's not important. But yeah, so...
Now maid cafes are safe to go to.
Yeah. And Ranko, while in a wheelchair, she's being a maid.
No, Ranko is not being a maid.
Ranko's dead. My
Ranko
apologies.
is in the ground.
Yes. It's Nagomi. Nagomi, despite being in a wheelchair, being a maid like she always wanted to be. And that was the end. And that was kind of fucked up, but I'm not gonna lie. It was fun. I wish we didn't keep not watching it. It would have been nice to have a more coherent...
Look, it doesn't help that we started when there was only 6 episodes, and then
that was my bad.
And then we got sidetracked with, like, I don't know, 6 other shows.
Yeah.
Because those were all updating too.
Yeah. It was a good time though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. Let's throw some numbers at this. Plot.
It was fine, I guess. It felt like there were a lot of like, well, why are they doing this now kind of deals.
It felt like a lot of nonsense, to be honest.
It felt like it was supposed to be longer, like there was supposed to be more time between all these Maid wars, but...
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it feels like, we just finished a war. Now we're going to war. So, I don't know, give it a 3.
Yeah, that seems fine. Characters. They were serviceable.
They were fine, I guess.
I mean, the manager was great. The panda was funny.
Everybody else was anime characters, so I don't know.
Yeah, they were...
Give it a 3?
Yeah, I'll just hit it with a 3. Animation, it was decent. The fight scenes were serviceable.
The fight scenes were surprisingly better than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, that's true. They didn't really cheap out and like try and cut away from the action. There were a lot of scenes that were just like fucking gunfights, but I mean that's what the show is. Fucking gunfights.
I guess 3, I don't know. 3, 4?
I was gonna hit with a 4.
Okay, let's hit it with a 4.
Genre strength. I mean, let's be honest, this is a Yakuza story. And as a Yakuza story, it's pretty average. It follows the same tropes. It hits the same beats.
It has the same side stories.
Yeah, as a comedy, pretty solid for the material it's working with. It's generally funny by like the absolute tonal whiplash that you go through when dealing with maid cafes, and suddenly they're being Yakuza.
Yeah, and so it was just a bloodbath for some reason. Whatever.
I mean, there were times where, like, it was fucking stupid, and it was trying to be like when the fucking blood sister fucking died, and it's like trying to be serious, but we're sitting there watching maids with guns, and we're just like, can't take this seriously, not sure if we're even supposed to.
I mean, we were probably supposed to.
There's a part of me... When fucking... oh, God. I already forgot her name.
Which one? The main character?
Yeah.
Nagomi?
When Nagomi put on the aviators and the black maid costume, I was like, I'm not supposed to take this seriously. This is fucking stupid. But then she gets the shit beaten out of her, and she's legitimately losing her mind. And she, like, breaks down crying, finding all this shit, which was honestly pretty dumb. And so not necessarily meant to be taken seriously when she pulls out the fucking dirt. Like, this show juggles, like, melodrama and just sheer stupidity. And
yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say it juggles them well, unless their aim was to be stupid.
It kind of feels like you said earlier, somebody saw Yakuza, said, hey, I can do that, but with maids.
Yeah.
And they didn't quite get the serious part down.
And I'm not 100% certain they were even supposed to. It really feels like one of those things where it's like, we can slap these things together, and by slapping these things together, it can be funny. There are just, like, hints of, like, yeah, but, like, take this seriously. Like, the whole crusade that Nagomi goes on in the latter half about, like, maids need to be nice and not solve everything by punching and kicking and shooting each other. As people punch, kick, shoot, stab, and die. Or not die. Because no one died in that baseball game.
That baseball game was completely fair, and it was a good time had by all.
Clearly. Never mind the fact that she got beat over the head with a...
She was wearing a helmet.
She was.
You know what? Just hit it with a 3, I guess, for it being kind of average as Yakuza.
Yeah. We didn't watch the dub. This would have been delayed for fucking...
Yeah, no.
We had...
You wouldn't be hearing about this till April.
Yeah, April Fool's Day. Fucking sick. Anyway, special mention...
Panda.
Yeah, probably goes to Panda.
Because, like, I'm not gonna lie, every time the panda was on screen, I'm like, I'm looking at the panda.
Yeah, panda was great.
Because it was like, at first we was like, is that a real panda? Is that a person in a panda costume?
And we figured out it was a panda costume like part way through. Like it took us that long because it looked like it was eating bamboo.
And then the whole scene of it just like before the gas explosion.
Yeah,
happened,
turning
like,
on all the
is that a really
stoves.
smart panda? Did they train this panda?
Yeah. Yeah, it was fucking dumb.
No, the panda was very special.
I gave it a 1.
Yeah, that's fair.
Alright, so we're looking at 14.
14.
Seems reasonable. We had a good time.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Uh,
Where you gonna?
I mean, I heard this compared to Chainsaw Man in terms of tone, and
I don't know about that.
I feel like this was a lot more of a comedy than Chainsaw Man is.
Yeah.
Chainsaw Man's funny, but Chainsaw Man's got depth to it that...
Chainsaw Man wants you to take it seriously.
Yeah, whereas Akiba Maid War doesn't feel like it wants you to take it seriously. Until it wants you to take it seriously, but by that point you've already...
By that point, you've seen a panda blow up a fucking casino.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well...
Yep, alright.
Okay, we'll see you guys later.
See you.